In this example, we're going to work through calculating the amount of energy required to change the phase. Out of all the parts of the video series in thermodynamics that we've done, we've never done an example of calculating how much energy to change the phase. And we're going to change the phase of 15 grams of solid ice to liquid H2O. So when I grab my graph here, we need to first figure out where we are on this graph. Here we start with a solid, and then right here it transitions from a solid to a liquid. Then this is all changing the temperature of the liquid. Then it transitions from a liquid to a gas, and then changing the temperature of the gas. So these are the two places, here and here, where you can go through a change of phase. So when we look, calculate the amount of energy required to change the phase, we need to figure out what section we are on. What kind of phase change is taking place? Well, it looks like we're going from a solid to a liquid. So here you have all of it solid, and as it transitions here, it's all liquid. We are going from left to right. It's melting. We call that melting, and going from left to right, it's absorbing energy. It's taking energy in. And in section B, the equation that we're going to use is Q equals M. The amount of energy equals the mass times the heat of fusion. Delta H FUS stands for heat of fusion. So here, we're in a change of phase. We're in section B. We're melting. Q equals M times delta H FUS. We call delta H FUS the heat of fusion. When we look up the heat of fusion online, and that's exactly what we would do, we would look it up for water because we're dealing with H2O. Delta H FUS for H2O is equal to 334 joules per gram. That is the value that is associated with the heat of fusion. So now, if you're dealing with water, now Q, the amount of energy, is equal to the mass, 15.0 grams, multiplied by the heat of fusion, which is 334 joules per gram. The grams cross out, and now we take on our calculator, we take 15 and we multiply it by 334. And that gets us a value of energy in joules, because that's the only thing that didn't cross out, of 5,010 joules of energy. So it requires 5,010 joules of energy in order to change 15 grams of solid ice into the 15 grams of liquid. I hope this helps in understanding how to use phase of change equations, or change of phase equations.